Okay. Thank you guys so much for being here. I am really excited about what we're going to be doing in October and probably will roll into November because this is just, if you don't know yet, my hugest passion is helping people uncover their dreams and then reach their dreams. And there's just nothing that I love more than watching like somebody's eyes light up when they start to realize deep down what they're working for and why they want it and removing reasons and subconscious thoughts that have prevented them from reaching those before. And typically when I do this training, I do it in a workshop and it's about a 6-hour workshop. So I have decided to really take it down into bite-sized chunks. That way you can share it with somebody. If a certain part of it really meant something to you, you can go back and listen to it, whatever it looks like. I think everybody should have the workbook. If you were watching this on YouTube sometime in the future, just send me a message and I will send you the PDF of the workbook. So without further ado, let's get started from the beginning. Now, here's something we're not going to do on this call, but it's really important for you to do. And it's literally the first page of your workbook. And that is writing your before story. This is super important. And that first page, writing your before story, it just has questions. You don't have to answer all those questions, but they can be like a starting off point. You're going to write about where you are in your finances, in your relationships, in your health, in your career, doing hobbies, just where you are. Because what is so important, two things are really important to help you get to where you're trying to go. One is knowing where you're trying to go, right? It's like in your GPS system, when you get in the car, if you know you're trying to go see the San Francisco Bridge, you're going to find the address for the San Francisco Bridge and you're going to put it in. But that only works if you also put in what? Your starting location. You have to know where you're starting from. That does two things. It tells you, it acknowledges where you are, but it also allows you to go back and look. Okay, how far have I gone? What progress have I made? What areas have I made progress in? And what areas have I maybe avoided making progress in, even though if through this time you realize things you really need to take action on, or you want to get better at, or you want to grow in a certain area. And if you look back in 90 days at your before story and you're like, I actually am in the exact same place, that is measurable. That you can look and go, okay, it's similar to trying to lose weight and getting on the scale every day and it hasn't changed and you're like, but I'm eating better. Well, prove it. And how do you prove it? You have a food log. You count your macros. It's measurable. And so we're going to do things that you will be able to track your progress, right? I mean, I've shared with all of you in our chat, for those watching this YouTube video that are either not on my team or on a chat, everybody who knows me knows that I am running the Chicago Marathon on Sunday. And it is 26.2 miles long. When I decided to do that 6 months ago, I couldn't have 6 months ago when I said, I got into the Chicago Marathon. I couldn't have run it 6 months ago. But what happened is I was running, not a ton, running. And I knew what date I had to be ready for 26.2 miles. And so 6 months ago, I wrote out on my calendar how many miles I needed to do, what days of the week for 6 months. And if I hadn't taken action and done all those, would I be ready to run 26.2 miles on Sunday? No, it would be a bloody disaster, right? But because I knew what I wanted. I knew when I wanted it. I was able to put a plan in action and do those things each day so that Sunday, is it still going to be hard? For sure. Will I look like death at the end of it? Probably. Will I be walking backwards downstairs on Monday? For sure. But it's going to be fine. I'm ready for it. Like I'm totally ready for it. But that's because 6 months ago I mapped it out. So doing that in your business is really great. But to do it and map it out and take action, I also had to remove things that would prevent me from achieving the goal, right? So one thing that you're not going to do for a marathon, well, some people do. Some people do it barefoot. That's stupid. Don't be stupid. I had to get really good running shoes, right? That would be a block. Like if I had crap shoes, I'm going to be honest, if I was trying to run 26 miles in Skechers, I probably wouldn't be able to run. Like that would be a block. And this is like just, I'm putting it in like real analogy, but subconsciously, when you're trying to work on big goals and big dreams, you have blocks that come up without even realizing it, right? Somebody who wants to run a marathon, who has no access to social media, no access to great running shoe stores, they don't know, right? I'm fearful of some of the people I see in these marathon chats that I'm in for Chicago that are like trying to decide what I should eat while running. And I'm like, you should have figured that out 3 months ago. Because if you're adding new food on Sunday, you're going to poop your pants. Your stomach's going to hurt, right? Like you learn things and you put plans in place prior to when you actually hit that goal. That I love because I can't tell you how many times I've heard, I don't know if I want to be an emerald because it looks like you work really hard. Okay. Well, I didn't join as an emerald. I was not running team calls and leading rally chats and creating workbooks when I joined. I just slowly, as you grow, you learn new things because taking action, literally, that's how you gain confidence, is by doing things. So we're going to work through some blocks. You also are going to skip the pages that say the power of what if and the what if activity, because we're going to do those on a different call. You're going straight to your broke mindset block. So let me share my screen while you guys are turning to your broke mindset block. And let me move this out of the way. And all right, I'm not going to go through all the dreamers and thinkers. We're skipping this stuff because I've talked to you guys enough about it. But here's the thing. Here's your future. We really are going to start dreaming of your future life. And I think a lot of you have done this at some level because you wouldn't still be in this business if you weren't dreaming of something big. You would have given up. If your why wasn't big, whatever, you would have stopped. You wouldn't still be showing up and still trying to be your version of success and what version of income you want in this business if you didn't already have a dream future life. But we're probably going to dig deeper into it. But first, we're going to figure out why maybe you're stuck, why maybe you haven't reached some of those dreams that you've had so far. So here are the areas. Jot these down because these are the areas I want you to focus on when you're writing your before story. Kind of like a bicycle wheel. These are just all the aspects. I don't know if you're ever digging really deep into something, you probably won't have balance, but you can be in alignment with what's important to you right now, right? Like I'm working a lot right now, more than I have in a long time. So my career is out of alignment, maybe with my passions and joys, but it's for a season. I still do things that bring me passion and bring me joy. I'm not neglecting it, but because of some timelines we have as a family and things that I need to hit, my alignment and Rob and I talk about it regularly also because you got to include your shareholders. We say to each other regularly when we're exhausted, when we're supposed sitting there with laptops in our laps at 9 o'clock at night, it's just a season. This is just a season. And we know this season might be 2 years long, which seems like a really long time until we get to the end of the 2 years and we've achieved what we were working so hard for. And then 2 years doesn't seem that long, right? So those are the areas we're going to work on. So let's talk about some myths. Again, we're going to go through that. So here's some common negative beliefs about money. Some of them are based in religious background. Some of them are just based on what you heard your mama say. Some of them are based on, they can come from anywhere, but money is the root of all evil. Whether you believe that or not, every single one of you have heard that. I would be shocked if you haven't heard that. You don't have, it doesn't mean you believe it, but also in this coaching, I want you to realize you will one day coach somebody who actually believes that. So don't discredit some of these myths because you don't, but no, you might be helping somebody in the future with this. Rich people are bad. My mom has this thought. She is certain that everybody that is rich is wasting their money. Do they really need a house that big? Who needs that fancy of a car? And it's just like, girl, who cares? It's none of your business. Who cares? But I will get into this more, but in my desire to please her, I often in the past would scale back how much I was earning because I knew how she felt about rich people and I wanted to be just not rich enough so that she wouldn't start judging me. It sounds silly. You do it without thinking. If somebody around you feel like is going to, if they're judging other rich people, you might not be rich yet, but you don't want to give them a reason not to like you. More money, more problems. If I've said this once, I've said this 2,000 times since Deanna taught me this, that her husband says if money can fix the problem, it's not actually a problem. Done. For the people who are paycheck to paycheck, for the people who one kid's broken arm is going to put them in debt for the next 4 years. That is heavy stress. And so more money, more problems. No, money doesn't cure cancer, but money sure can get you the best treatment ever. Right? So another thought, if I have lots of money, I'll lose friends or family. I have struggled with that because for as long as I can remember, I have been told by my mom and her whole side of the family, you just think you're smarter than everybody. Who do you think you are? Just because you married somebody with money, there's a million reasons why they haven't liked me. That's okay. Because you know what I finally came to terms with about 3 years ago? I don't like them either. Why was I trying so hard to make cousins who I haven't seen in 10 years, who my mom was telling me what they're saying about me the last time she went to Oklahoma? Why did I care? I don't know. I did. And then I realized, oh, I have zero desire to spend any time with them. Why do they care? Why would I care if they think I'm a snob? They don't know me. So I'm relating it to actually blood relatives, but are you doing that with people on the internet? Shying away or whatever, because what will they think of me? Am I bragging? If I'm showing off this thing that I earned or that I got or talking about, are they going to think I'm bragging? maybe some of them are going to find inspiration in it. You get to decide what you think people think of you, because you don't actually know. So you might as well choose that they're all thinking you're amazing and inspirational. Like, you get to decide, right? Some people are going to tell you, not many. Not many people are going to tell you. So people only want you for your money. I don't know. I haven't crossed that bridge yet. But I think people with lots of money probably feel that. I mean, I've listened to I love Oprah Winfrey, and she talks about how people just come out of the woodwork. Will that happen when you're making lots of money? Maybe. That's up to you at that point to set boundaries. I don't know if any of you are there yet. I don't know. So a lack mindset also is a part of the broke mindset. So this looks a number of different ways, often in opposites. So holding on to money too tight, stockpiling money, fear of spending. So those are all really hold close. Those would describe my husband. Like, no amount. He cannot put an amount on what would be enough for us to have that he would feel comfortable. Can't name it. As many times as I'm like, well, what's enough? He has no idea. All he knows is he's scared to death we're going to run out. Okay. Spending too much or too quickly. My favorite cheerleader of trying to help me overcome this right here, Deanna Bishop. Listen, when I lived with her in college, if I saw a dress I wanted, I would call my mom and she would say, go buy it, write a check. I'll overnight you a check and you can deposit it before your check clears. That's how I was raised. And then there's no telling what she did to get the money for that. I'm looking back at some of the things that she provided, and I'm like, I've spent all this time judging her for certain things that she did as my parent. And as I've gotten older, I'm like, was she maybe doing those because I wanted new Jordache jeans or a Jessie McClintock dress? Probably. Doesn't mean what she was doing was right, but it means that, and she literally taught me to wait tables, because she was like, if you see shoes on sale and you're a waitress and your electric bill is due, you can buy the shoes and just pick up an extra shift tomorrow and cover your electric bill. That's literally how I was raised, to spend it as soon as you got it because you didn't know when you were going to run out, and just hustle harder the next day. Not learning from past mistakes and not being smart with money. It again, having a best friend whose husband's a CPA. I remember one time when they, like, I don't know how much money they have or had, I don't know. And I remember she came to see me in California. I was there for a rugby tournament and she came up to see me. And I remember discovering, because I was a single mom, and thinking, she had it all together. She had kids and her husband's a CPA and they've got a house and everything's great. And I think that it probably was, except for her husband worked a ton and that's hard. They were still driving the Saturn that he had when we were like at BYU. And I was like, what is wrong with you? And she's like, it still works. And I'm like, but you could afford it. She goes, still works. And she's still that way. Like, she never went and got a Lexus. Never did. I was literally there 2 days after I hit Emerald, signing the paperwork. She never got one. So having somebody like her in my ear, and she will tell you I'm 4 gazillion times better. My husband will still tell you I mostly suck at it. It's whatever. It's whatever. But struggling with money, here's some other thoughts that you might have, especially in our industry. Like, I need to work really hard to get money. Kind of, yes, but also work smarter, work more intentionally. I think that we make really great money for how few hours that we work. So what would happen if you actually worked 20 hours a week on your Plexus business? I don't know. I don't know how much you work now, but I know that if you want to increase your income, you can increase your hours. way better than you could at a traditional job. Listen, there's 4 gazillion teachers out there. I was at this retreat last week and there were 3 teachers in the room and they were talking about in Michigan, there was a 7-year freeze on teacher salaries. So if you had just started for the first 7 years of your teacher degree, you were at $38,000. Not a penny raise. No matter how hard they work, they're still making the same. So we're kind of lucky here. No matter how hard I work, I don't have enough. A lot of us saw that play out in our homes of just being told there isn't enough money. But you saw your parents working so hard. So that can create in you, like, no matter how hard I work, I'm still not going to have enough. So maybe I just won't work that hard. Money is hard to come by. Money is for paying bills. There will always be more bills than money. These are just thoughts. These are thoughts that some of you may have, some of you may not. They come and go. But here's what's important is figuring out, what do you believe about money? What have you been told about it throughout your life? And because in order to change your future outcomes around money, you've got to uncover the beliefs that you've been carrying around. I've shared some of my beliefs. You guys all have your own beliefs based on the years that you've lived. But those beliefs that you're carrying, they're the reason for your financial situation. You might think they're not, but they are, because they're either propelling you forward with your beliefs and your mindset of what you believe is possible and what you're capable of earning and how you're going to figure it out. So I want you to you're going to spend 5 minutes filling out money is. So it's the page that says broke mindset block. Only do that page. Spend about 5 minutes filling in anything that you think about money, good, bad, money is useful, whatever. Just, I'm going to set a timer and you guys are going to write. We got about 1 more minute. Okay, let's go ahead and pause there. You can fill it out more. Anybody want to share any of their money is statements? You guys all wrote stuff down.
I
I
will.
saw you.
Okay, so this was what was disturbing. The first thing I wrote is money is a necessary evil. So that's revealing.
It's not disturbing, it's just as a thought right now, right? And
Yes.
we can't fix the negative thoughts if you're not honest about them, which is our next step. So what else have you any share?
Oh, I put money is a blessing and it's a lifestyle impact and is generosity, have more, give more. So it was just the first thing that came to mind. That's the
First thing that
first,
popped in?
yeah. And I was like, I'm writing that. You
Yeah,
thought it, you do it. You got to
yeah.
feel it.
Yeah, and that's what a lot of this is all about is what comes up quickly. Just don't overthink it, just write it down. Anybody else willing to share anything?
Can you hear me very well? I don't think I have a very good microphone. Oh, you
It's
can.
not
Okay.
great. It's not great, but we can hear you.
Okay, sorry. I've had
No,
a hard
tell
time
us.
setting stuff up today. Well, I started off, like Judy, I actually started off, I'm in a good mindset right now, money-wise. So it was helpful to get things done. It's fun to have, it's necessary, it's freedom, it's stability, it's useful. So those were the kind of things that I was, but then towards the end, as I was really thinking, it's gone too quickly. It's a source of contention and worry. Um, but other things were it's replenishable to help others with their needs. So most of it was positive, but I thought long enough, I realized that gosh, it is a source of contention and worry. And that is something to work on.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Anybody else want to share anything? Okay. Your next step is going to be, let me see if I have it, is going to be, what I would like you to do is look at the list that you made and put a star next to any of them that are negative. If you wrote anything negative about money at all, put a star next to it. Okay, so the next thing you're going to do, and I will go fast through this because again, I said I wanted these to be in bite-sized chunks, and some of this you can do on your own. But your next page that says broke mindset block rewrite, those are gonna be where you are going to rewrite your negative money thought. Because the way that the brain works is you can try to remove a thought, but if you don't replace it, the old thought comes back in. The brain literally hates empty space. I forget who says it, but they say it all the time. The brain abhors a vacuum or something. Basically, you can remove a thought and something else is going to go in its place. So you need to be diligent about what is going in place of the thought that you're removing. So for example, Judy, how would you rewrite yours, or would you share it again so that we could help you rewrite it? Read it to me again.
I just wrote, money is a necessary evil, is what I wrote. And that was the first thought that came in. I only had two negatives, and it was the stressful and necessary evil.
What if, and you could do anything with that. What comes to my mind right off the bat is money is necessary. Money is a necessary blessing. Like instead of it being evil,
Right.
it's a blessing. Because it's real, like you can bless people with your time, you can bless people with your energy, but being able to bless people in their times of need because you have an abundance is really pretty remarkable.
It's my favorite part.
Like it's not necessary to be a blessing, but money can be a really great blessing.
So forgive me. I want to make sure I understand this.
Yes.
And in rewriting this, I wouldn't write out the money is a necessary evil and go, but I would just change the whole statement. I want to make
Change
sure
it
I understand
completely.
that. Okay.
Yes.
Got it. Thank
Because
you.
you want to remove all of the negative
Oh,
aspects of it. And give it something great.
okay. Thank you.
Does anybody else have a negative thought that they'd be willing to share that we could, just because it helps other people learn of how to rewrite, rethink things?
I will.
Yes, ma'am.
I have put, but I put a positive and a negative at the same sentence. I had, money can be unlimited or scarce. And then
Okay.
money can be a blessing or a curse. And then it says creates unity or division. So, I mean, I had put one of each.
In all of them. Okay. So I think instead of, and this may make perfect sense now that we've gone through this a little bit, but instead of like money can be this or that, you're going to switch it just to money is
Just one of them.
and
The positive one.
the positive one, the one that you want it to be. Yeah. Yeah. Georgia, what were you going to share?
Okay, my first one was money is never enough. And I changed it to money is an abundance. And I'm like Judy, I only had two negatives. The other one was money goes out faster than we can earn it. And I changed it to money is coming faster than we can share it.
I love that so much. I'm writing that down. Money is coming faster than we can share it. I love that so much. A word when I was going through this that helped me a lot, and a word that I used regularly was abundance. Abundance is on its way to me. I have, not just sufficient for my needs, but abundance to give. I think it's just so powerful when women have financial freedom in an abundant manner, because there aren't a ton of men who are going to give charitably unless their financial advisor or tax expert told them they need to save on taxes. It is us that see a need and want to fill it. It is us that want to do good. Sometimes even if it makes things a little tighter for us. But that's not a natural tendency, I don't think, for a ton of men. For tax purposes, yes. But for just the heck of it, because it lightens somebody else's load. So let's see. Let's talk about, so what I would like you to do again, later is the next page is called Power Mottos. And I want you to create just really strong statements that are directly addressing the negative belief or fear. So very similar to your rewrite, but digging in even deeper. So it's going to state the new outcome and it's going to make you feel powerful and empowered. So for instance, if you wrote something like money is bad, a power motto might be, money brings me freedom and flexibility. It empowers me to do what I want, when I want. It enables me to be generous and live life on my own terms. You know, I love a good chat GPT. You could put in there, help me come up with some powerful money mottos. Share with it some of the things maybe that you struggle with, some of the things you're trying to achieve, and ask it to help you come up with power mottos. Because much like affirmations, I would like you to have these in a place where you say them multiple times a day. Again, because the more you repeat something and start to visualize it, and we're going to work into some of the visualization. Like if you guys watched the video that Judy sent in that chat, it was so good because he was giving you actual spells and steps, which is what we're going to do to help you start to manifest. But one of the things is removing the blocks that are preventing you even from, you know, if you think to yourself, you know, I want to earn 10,000 a month, but then you have some thought to pull you back. That's like, well, you know, who do you think you are? Or what do you need that much for? Or you're not worthy, or you're not the kind of woman that earns that type of money, or you've never done it before. What makes you think you can do it now? Those are things that we want to shut down so that when you say, I'm going to earn 10,000 a month by December of 2026, the thought you have is, awesome. How are we going to do it? Because then you start to figure out how to do it. So we need to rewrite your money story because that's just such a big thing. So how to remove money blocks. Here's some actual tips that, crazy enough, work. So stop talking about money. When we were, I don't know, I can't tell you for how many gazillion years Rob and I have fought based on our differing opinions about money, but big ugly fights, really bad, because we were just night and day in what we believed and how we felt about it. And you know, I was hustle culture. I'm going to figure it out. Like, what do we need? Okay, I'm going to figure it out. And he's like, if you didn't spend, we wouldn't have to be hustling to figure it out. If you would just let us save more. It was tough. And so one of the things he would do every time he balanced the checkbook, which in my mind felt like he did it every single night. He didn't really, but it felt like that because it would catch me out of the blue. I'd be like doing the dishes, and all of a sudden from behind me would be like, did you really need something from Target again? And I'd be like, yes, I don't know. Like, it would catch me out of the blue. Another thing that he would do, and he would do it jokingly in a joking Rob fashion, but very loud. And he would say very loudly, stop spending money. We're out of money. Stop spending money. And he would do that from whatever room he was balancing the checkbook in. So what was happening is, I learned, is there was just this constant negative feeling about money. And when you have a negative feeling about money, or it's creating tension, or it's creating stress, you will tend to repel it because you're not even comfortable having conversations about it. If money is not a safe space for you, it's going to be hard for you to bring more money into your life because it's not safe. I used to have a fear that is not all the way gone, but that was, it wouldn't matter how much I made, he would still take it to pay bills or to put into savings. And I just wanted to go shopping. And so there was a part of me that didn't want to earn more because he would take it away. That's what it felt like to me. We've moved past it, but that's what it felt like to me at the time. What did we do? One thing that we did was we set a time to discuss money. And for years, it was like Saturday around lunchtime. And if he would start to bring something up about money, other times in the week, I would go, it's not Saturday. Because it so often led to tension. And then I didn't want to talk to him the rest of the night because it was bad. So we set a time, and we always, because we kept that promise that every Saturday at noon, we would talk about it. He was able to relax knowing he'd be able to come to me with a budget, ask questions, figure out what all the Amazon charges were. And I was prepared. I might have spent all Friday night like bracing myself for it, but I was ready on Saturday at noon. It didn't catch me off guard. So instead of talking about it or the lack of it all the time, have a time and a place for it. Separating the dream from the money. This is where that last activity, if you only printed 12 pages where money is not required, I want you to start thinking of times and writing about times when you got to do something great, experience something great, feel something great that didn't cost anything. And it might cost a little, right? Like when we are in Leaders Retreat, we pay for our plane ticket, but how much do we get for free? Or there are times when somebody just out of the blue gifts you with something and it makes you feel so seen and wonderful, and it didn't cost you anything. Because one of the things that we're going to work on is how, when you start to put out into the universe what you want, you start to attract it as long as you're not repelling it. And sometimes it doesn't cost you anything to get it. So what we're doing is working around changing how you feel about money. But it takes us some deep dives, and I'll be honest, it probably will take communication with you and your husband, because if somebody else is always doing the things, you're still hearing it. It's still causing tension. You know, he didn't like the change until he did. And true story, when I worked through all of our money issues and started speaking differently about money and feeling different about money, and one power motto could be that I will be a good steward of the money I'm given. You know, I had it written down this week and I accidentally threw that piece of paper away. Abundance or abundantly is in the Bible over 117 times, 117 times in the King James Version, and over 212 times in some of the other translations. So if you don't think, like, if religion is a holdup for you, or you think, you know, you're stuck on, you know, God wants you to be meek and humble and not have anything, I would challenge you to see how many more times he talks about giving you abundance, more times than he talks about you. The love of money is not great, doing everything for money, but I truly believe money just makes you more of who you are. And if you're a giver and a lover, more money allows you to do more of that. And when when money stress goes away, it changes everything. So money often has to be a conversation with your spouse, so that you let him know, hey, this is what I'm working on. I'm working. And if you have any trigger words, you may not. For me, save was a trigger word. It made me feel like I was being punished. We need to save that. And I was like, why? Like, I earned it. Why can't I have it? And save, for whatever reason, felt ugly to me, and I hated it. So in our house, it was changed to, we're building wealth. So, like, one of the tasks that I was given in going through all of this is if I was at a store and I put something in my cart that was not on my list, I had to walk around the whole store with my shopping cart twice before I decided if I really needed to purchase it. Anything that was in my Amazon cart had to stay there for a minimum of 24 hours before I bought it. That prevented impulse purchases. And so it became funny in our house for him to come home and say, you know, how much wealth are you helping us accumulate today? And I'd be like, I put back the fingernail polish, and I put back the new shorts, and I put back that cute outfit I was going to get Sophia. So I helped us accumulate. It just, but take some time figuring it out for you. Have good conversations with your spouse, because I think this is the one thing that it's critical for you to do together. Much of everything else we're going to do in dreaming big and mindset is you. It's just you. But it's really hard to change money mindset things if you're trying to do one thing and your spouse is over here. And maybe nobody else has issues with money in their marriage. In mine, it's just as stressful. It causes stress. And no matter what, it just does. And the only thing in my desire to have a huge, wonderful, happy, stress-free marriage, which is what I'm really trying to work towards, is to earn more money and allow him to change his job. Not for him not to work, but for me to, I'm supporting my father now in San Diego. If I'm not earning it, it's coming out of what goes to the family, right? And so we just have to, you have to work with your spouse on money on this. Everything else that we're going to tackle, to you, sister. Anybody have questions about, here's some, if you want to take a picture of this, here are some fun mottos that are really short. Abundance is on its way. Here were some ones that were not true for me, but have gotten more accurate. But I'm great with money. I am building wealth. I'm wealthy, abundant, and generous. And I'm so grateful for the abundance in my life. So having good things to say about it is pretty critical in what we're working on. So that went a little longer. That's a big one. The other calls I think will be shorter, but money is so big, especially each of you working your business is working it, I think, because you want to earn more money. I mean, the community is great. The products are great. You share because you love them. But at the end of the day, you're hoping the trips are great. You want to grow your wealth. And if you are repelling it without meaning to, or being irresponsible with it, like I used to be, then it's hard because you're not being a good steward. And it's like, how am I supposed to give you a lot more when you just waste what you have? So, if you are a waster, reach out to Deanna. She'll help tell you why you don't need things. She's the best. Listen, if you see something and you think it's super cute and you want to know if you should get it, unless you want the answer to be yes, don't call me. I'm not the friend. I'm the friend that's saying you buy all the things. Buy all the things. If you think, I don't know if this makes sense or not, I want a second opinion, call Deanna. She'll help you realize that you actually want something bigger, more later down the road that's more fabulous. Yeah, she's your girl. She's your girl. Okay, anybody have questions, thoughts, concerns? Do you feel prepared to finish this part of the workbook and kind of dig in? Right, more this really just, you will get out of this kind of what we're going to be doing over the next few weeks, what you put into it. All right.
We don't
Yes.
do the what if, right?
No, don't do the what ifs. We'll do
Okay.
those later. Right now, just really work on money, your money blocks and creating power mottos to there's our civil air patrolman practicing drill.
I have to, but apparently I'm on backup for I don't know.
Okay, he doesn't. Okay. All right. You guys are amazing. I am going to drop some of the procrastination stuff that I learned in my training today in our rally chat tomorrow. And I'm so grateful for you guys being here. Next week, we're going to tackle low-key martyr and some self-esteem issues that maybe make you feel like you're not worthy of doing amazing, great things. And you may or may not have.
I think Andrew should
Backup
be a
dancers.
guest speaker.
Do you think Andrew should be the guest speaker?
Yeah,
It depends on what you would like to know about.
confident, yes. And look at that confidence. Like he's showing it right now. I love it.
His mom must be a life coach. She
Yeah.
tells me everything.
Fabulous.
Almost anything.
All right, you guys, you're amazing. Thank you for sticking with me, and I will talk to you later.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.